Welcome, welcome, welcome. And here we go again. So everyone's coming in so quickly. So let me try and go across the page. Welcome to Evelyn, Lynn, Judy, Dania, Marty, welcome back. Josie, lovely to see you there. Sherry, Wanda, McClurg, Betty, Beverly, Kathy, Dahlia, sorry if I've got that wrong. Ivy, Janet. Oh, they're all coming in so quickly. Sue, welcome back. All right, lovely to see you there again, Marty. Lovely to see you. McClurg, I figure that's probably your last name. It's your first name?
No, it's my first name.
Oh, is it? Okay. And where does that come from?
It's Scottish from my mother.
Oh, yes. Very Scottish, isn't it? Okay. Lovely, lovely, lovely. All right. So, yeah, very good. I'll just take my foot out of my mouth and put the other one in. Okay. It's the Mick. All right. Let me see if there's something in the chat. All right. Just if anyone has any technical issues, we have Franklin today as our technical assistant. He is here to help you. So you can just type any questions technically into the chat box. I'm just waiting for more people just to come on in and connect to audio. But who have we got? Sue is saying hello. Hello, Sue. Welcome back. All right. Would anyone, again, while we're waiting, anyone care to share where you're at? Where are you? Do you, sometimes people make here online, they find their neighbors. Yes, McClurg.
Rochester, New York.
Rochester. Whereabouts is that compared to New York City? I have no idea.
It's across the lake from Toronto, Canada. It's on the northern coast. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So that's pretty north, right?
North and west. Yes.
Lovely. Is it nice countryside out there?
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, lovely. I've only been to the Pacific Northwest, so completely the other side of the country. Yeah. And it's beautiful out there. Absolutely beautiful. Again, looking over it's not really it is the sea, to Victoria, Canada. So yeah, very similar kind of whatever you call that. Yeah, it is totally beautiful and green. And actually where I've been, they don't get too cold. They're in some sort of weather beautiful patterning. I think they get very cold in the winter time, but in summer it's just so beautiful. So I'm assuming it's nice right now. Summertime.
It's gorgeous here now. Today is moderate. It's in the mid 70s.
Okay, I'm just trying to convert that in my head, probably around about high 20s or so. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know how to convert. Sorry.
No, that's okay. We have problems both ways. Yeah, all good. All right. So Dania's from Cincinnati, Evelyn's from Michigan, Josie's from Northern California. All right. Grand Rapids, Michigan. Janet, there we go. There we go. Couple in Michigan. You might know each other. Who would know? I know they're big states. It's okay. I do know that. Hot Houston, Wanda. All right. I'm jealous. All right. I've got my son out this morning. San Francisco. Marty's from San Francisco. Lynn's from Atlanta. Kathy's from Chicago. There we go. We're all over the place. All righty. I don't think anyone's still coming in. So I'm going to start sharing my slides. There we go. So this is the class hopefully you've signed up for this morning. It is core and stretch. So I'll be doing some simple moves. They may not be easy. They're simple, right? Basically we want to target the whole body, but you'll find it most, I think you might feel it the most around about sort of, I call your core, pretty much the whole of your torso, minus your arms and legs, but they're going to be included in everything that we do as well. I really like to stress in class that we're all individual, and however many people we have attending class today is how many different types of exercises you'll be doing, right? Everybody will be doing some sort of modification or some sort of varied exercise I'll be showing, right? So we're all different and we'll all be doing what's right for us in the moment. And that's the most important thing. And that might mean that sometimes you'll be resting, you'll just be watching, you'll be doing maybe something with your arms a little bit differently to how I'm doing it. But it's all perfect no matter what you're doing, unless you're experiencing intense pain, in which case you need to stop straight away and rest and maybe reposition yourself. All right, welcome, Shirley. I can see you there.
Should we be planning to get on the floor?
All right, yes. So I'll be doing pretty much a lot of the stuff. We're going to be starting standing today. I'll be doing a lot of everything on the floor, but I'm also going to be showing modifications in a chair for those of you who are not okay getting onto the floor. So it can all be done both ways, but we will be starting standing. A little bit about me for those of you who are new to me. I'm Natalie. I'm in Melbourne, Australia. You may kind of notice a bit from my accent, a little bit different to a lot of people who are in class right now. I've been teaching some form of movement since 2001, and that started with yoga. So you'll see a bit of that coming into class. Then I did lots of Pilates training, and then it just moved on from there. So I'm a real why person. I like to know why this happens and that happens, particularly with the body. And I've done lots of trainings with that regard. And all of that, everything that I've done over the years, I like to share with people such as yourselves. I really am trying to help people become more curious about their body, to learn how it works, how it feels, and to become empowered by the way that you can move your body, and then hopefully maybe move it more and stay active throughout your entire life. That's my aim, and that's what we're doing here today. I'm trying to change slides. Let me go. There we go. So a bit of housekeeping from Get Set Up. We do learn from each other. So ideally, you would have your camera switched on. That way you can have a look at what other people are doing, maybe get some tips and tricks from variations of what someone else might be doing if what I'm showing you is not okay for you to do. If you do enjoy the class, you can request a recording. And to do that, all you need to do is email help@getsetup.io. Now, this class is being live streamed. So if you're joining us via live stream, you may choose to next time register for the class, because that way you can participate a little bit more fully. I welcome questions as we're going through the class. Feel free to unmute yourself. I'll mute everybody in a moment, but feel free to unmute yourself and ask those questions. Or alternatively, you can also type them into the chat box, and Franklin, our technical assistant, will let me know that they are there. Right. Get Set Up aren't paid to promote any specific product, so I won't be selling anything to you here. Okay? You won't have to worry about that. Finally, please check with your doctor if you're new to any exercise programs. I was about to say I'm a medical professional. I am not a medical professional. I'm a fitness professional. So I teach movement. If you have any other issues, and if your doctor or a physical therapist has given you contrary advice to what I'm saying, please take that first. Right? They're more acquainted with your body, but you are the most important person when it comes to your body. So let's just check in and see how you're feeling in each and every moment. Right, I'm going to stop these slides. Do we have any questions? Yes, we will. What we're using, I'm going to be using a strap just for some brief stretches later on in the class. This is a yoga strap. You don't need a yoga strap. You could use a scarf or a belt or even like a t-shirt or something. We're going to be doing this stretch where you put your foot into the strap. That can also be done by the chair. In case you came in after I already mentioned it, we will begin standing. Most of the class will be lying down on the floor. You might want a mat. I just don't have a mat here for reasons. You can also do a lot of the things we're doing on a chair. So if you have a chair that doesn't have arms in it, that would be preferable. Now, I am going to put myself on a bigger screen so you can see me a little bit better. Okay, once I can do that. There we go. If you prefer to have more people on your screen, all you need to do is switch your view to gallery view, and that way you'll get some ideas. Oh, also, sorry, one more prop. I'm using a half dome. Most people don't have these. You can substitute like a rolled up towel, or we can roll our mat up, but we'll be doing that pretty much at the end of the class, unless I run out of time. So let's come on up to standing. Oh, hang on, let me just I'll mute everybody. Once again, if you have any questions, feel free just to unmute yourself. That's just for any background noise. And you can ask away. So up to standing. We're going to start just by moving our spine. So can you let your arms dangle? And if you're seated, you can do the seated as well. Do the same action. We're going to simply nod our head, let it hang, let your arms dangle, and start to roll your head down towards the floor. Your spine will follow. Now, maybe you want to get this far. Maybe you can continue all the way down. Your hands might even touch the floor. They may get nowhere near the floor. That will all be perfect. And then round and roll back on up to standing. Right, we want to see how we're feeling, how flexible we're feeling in our spine. Does it feel okay to move this way? Let's go again. Nod your head, let your arms dangle, round and roll down. Now, I've bent my knees a little bit. You might want to bend your knees a lot more. Right, bending the knees sometimes takes a bit of pressure out of your lower back. Roll down. Can you just give your hands, your arms a bit of a shake to make sure you're letting those go? And then round and roll back. Right, so we're using our core to do this movement too. We'll do that one more time, right? Third time, there might be a bit of a difference. Roll on down. It's moving, becoming acquainted with how our body's feeling, right, in this moment. Right? Does this feel smooth? Does it feel creaky? Right, sometimes I get some niggly little pains when I'm doing this. I'm not concerned about them, right? As part of being in a human body is to experience some pain every now and again, maybe all the time, right? Hopefully not. Lift on up nice and tall. So that's a forward and upwards motion with the spine. We'll now do a bit of side bending. So I'm going to have one arm down by my side. I'm going to reach the other one up to the ceiling. Now, I know some people can't lift their arms up overhead, so maybe it's more out in front of you, or maybe your arms just stay by the side. I'm going to bend over to one side. So I'm going to let my hand, other hand, just slide down my leg as I reach and just bend to where it's okay for me. I'm going to come on back up again and going the same way. I'm going to do 3 times this way. Over to the side. Right, I'm going to see if I can just keep breathing as normally as possible. Come on back and let's do that one more time. Over. Right. On the 3rd time, can you get a bit further? And then up again, bring your arm down, switch on over, take your other arm up, bend to the side. Oh, how does it feel? I've chosen my easy side first, right? Not consciously. Up and over we go again. This side's a bit tighter for me. And come on back up. One more time. Reach up and over we go. Good. And then come on back up again. And let your arms come down. And then this time, next time, I'm going to do a simple twist. So I'm going to take both of my arms up. Now, as they come down, I'm going to turn my body one way. So I'm just going to reach my arms. I'm hitting my curtains down as I twist to my left, come back to center as I reach my arms back up again. I'm going to twist to my right. I'm just reaching out through my arms as I do that twist. Come on, back up, face the front. And we'll do that 2 more times each way. So I'm turning my body, just seeing how that feels. Lift on up, turn the other way, right back up again. And I'm going to do that 1 more time each way. Twist, and come on up. And then twist the other way, back on up. And then let my arms come on down. And then just a little bit with my head and neck. Nod your head, your chin down towards your chest. Turn your head to one side. Look on up to the ceiling. Now, if this is not okay, make tiny little circles, maybe just in space with your nose. Right, over the other side. Go around. Right, sometimes this is not all right for our neck. Right. So, again, do the movement or the range of movement that you can do that feels okay right now. I'm going to change direction of those circles, go the other way. And I'm pretty much doing 3 of all of these. You might go slower, you might go faster. Perfect. And then lift on up. And then finally, while we're standing, we're going to do a bit of a squatting type of movement. So all we're going to do, bend our knees, push our bottom back, and take your arms forward for a bit of counterbalance, and then come on up to standing. All right, so it's moving from our hips, our knees, our ankles, and our arms. Come on standing. Sit back and come on standing. This is going to be a little bit more difficult to do if you're in a chair. Maybe just leaning forward a little bit and reaching out with your arms. That could be the motion here. Let's do 3 more, no matter where you are. Come on up. And 2. And up. And last one. And come on up. Now, some of you can use that action to come sitting down on the floor. Otherwise, come on down and you're going to lie down on your back, on your mat, or sit down in your chair if you're using a chair for this portion. Right, so just here's an idea. You might be able to come on down something like that. Right? That might take a little bit too much, and lie down all the way. And I see myself, oh, I haven't chosen my colors very well today. So I'm blending in a little bit. All right. So what we're going to do, sorry, I thought it looked okay when I was standing before. All righty, I'll just give you another moment to get down onto the floor for if you've chosen that option. But once you are down there, have your knees bent, have your feet standing on your mat, and have your arms down by your side. Okay. And then once you're down, and it's okay if you're still making your way down to lying down on the mat, just join us when you're ready. The pelvis. Can you let your pelvis tilt backwards? Now that means your pubic bone is going to come towards your belly button. Right? See how my lower back curls up off the mat? I'm going to tilt it the other way. My pubic bone goes away and then gets a little bit more of a gap underneath my back. So I'm going to tilt my pelvis backwards and tilt it forward. Right? See if you can find that movement in your pelvis. Now, this is when you're lying down on your back. If you're seated, it's the same thing. You start up on your sitting bones if you can, and then you roll your pelvis backwards, tilt it backwards, and then tilt it forward. See what kind of movement you can get in your pelvis here. Back and forward. And back and forward. Right, you might feel the sitting bones, the bones that you're ideally sitting on top of when you're seated, right? We're usually more on our fleshy part of our bottom, and forward. All right. Once we've become acquainted with the pelvis here, we're going to make a bigger movement. So if you're seated, just roll back some more. If you're here on your back, tilt your pelvis back, push into your feet, and start to lift your hips up off the mat. So the rest of your spine will follow, or as much as follows for you, and then round and roll yourself back down all the way until your tail comes to touch the floor. Once you're back down again. Same again. Push into your feet, tilt your pelvis, your lower back lifts up off the mat, then maybe your mid back peels off, then maybe your ribs come up off the mat. You might get some cramping, right? The backs of the legs, that's pretty common. Don't worry about that. Just do the best you can. Round and roll back down again. Upper back, mid back, lower back. Your tail will come down at the end. Let's go again. Right, so your hamstrings and your glutes get used to this movement, the cramping often goes away. Sometimes we have it like a long, long time. Right, roll back down. Let's do 2 more of these. Right, so remember, it's the same thing that you're doing if you were seated. You're just going to maybe roll back a little bit further, rolling on up and rolling back down. Right, the intention here is what we call spinal articulation. Right, your spine is moving. Right, all these different vertebrae. We're trying to get some space in between them. This is the last one I'm doing here, and roll back down. All righty. Once you're down all the way, let's just move our arms a little bit.
can you be nice and heavy down through your tail? And maybe you can feel the backs of your ribs in contact with your mat. Now, if you're seated, it's up to you whether you want to be leaning back in your seat. Hopefully you can be more of an upright position, or you're sitting upright without leaning back. So I'll get up and show you that in a moment. Reach your arms up towards the ceiling if you're on your back, or directly out in front of you if you're seating. And then just move your arms. Take them out wide to the sides. Wide, 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 like you're making some wings. And then raise them back on up. Reach up towards the ceiling, like you're maybe hugging something big. And then back out wide again, out to your sides. And then back on up to the ceiling. Let's just find a couple of those moves with your arms. Right. So if you're seated, the choice will be either perched on the edge of your chair like you're sitting up against a wall, or you could be all the way back, but see if you can be more upright rather than sort of leaning back, right? More up here. Your arms are in front, and you're going to reach out to the sides and then reach back out in front of you. Out to the sides and in front. Let's do 2 more, whether you're on your back or on your chair. Out and back. And on the second one, we're going to keep our arms reaching out to the sides. We're going to bend our elbows and slip our hands underneath our head, the back of the head. Now, I have my hands one on top of each other. That sort of stops you gripping and pulling, right? I'm going to be reaching out wide with my elbows. Now, if that is not okay for your arms, they can go in front of your chest instead, or reach alongside your body, right? Same for if you're seated. Now, we want to keep our pelvis still, and then see if we can now curl our head and shoulders up off the mat and then roll them back down again. So you're reaching out wide with your elbows, and you're going to curl your head and shoulders up off the mat and then lie back down. Right, so now we're moving the spine from the other end, from the top end. Curl like we were doing when we were rolling down when we started standing. Curl up and lower down. Now, keep going if you're seated. The same sort of action. It'll be curl, but now you're curling more forward and then rolling back up. And you can push your head back into your hands here and then curl forward. You can use your arms for a bit of resistance and come on back up. All right. If you're on your floor, maybe 2 more. If you're seated, maybe a few more. If you were waiting until I showed that version. And come on up. And then lower back down. Great. Now, take your arms out. We're going to reach them on up towards the ceiling, and we're going to press our palms together and reach out with our arms. So if you're seated, it will be out in front of you. Can you do the same action, but now reaching your hands or your fingertips towards your knees, or maybe in between your knees, and then come on back down? I just want to get this action first. So it's the same thing that we were just doing, but now our arms are reaching in front of us rather than behind our head, right? Once again, curl on up. So your neck has to do a little bit more work. Now I'm going to add a twist into this. As I come up, I'm going to turn my body. My arms are going to go just to the outside. So I'm pretty much touching the outside of my leg. And I'm going to come back down again. I'm going to curl up. And I'm going to go the other side. So I'm just sort of touching the outside of my right leg as I come up and back down. And I'll come up and go to my left. So I'm rotating. My right shoulder blade's coming off the floor some more and back down. And I'll curl up. And I'm reaching to the outside. My left shoulder blade comes off the floor and back down. Continue if you're here on the mat. So the way it will look sitting is more like reaching out, and we're going to curl, so to the outside of your leg, and then come on back up, and then curl to the outside of your right leg. So we're getting a bit of that twisting into your body. Can you do 2 more? Maybe 1 more each side. Twist. And the other way. And come on back. And then reach your arms back out wide to the side. Bring your knees and feet together. Now we're going to twist the lower part of the body. That was the upper body. we're going to just roll our knees over to one side. And I'm going to try and let them be really heavy, right? My body's now, my lower body is now twisted. And then from there, I'm going to try to roll my body back onto the mat and let my knees come along for the ride, my legs. They're going to go the other way. My legs are going to my right now. See how my left side of my body is lifted up off the mat? I'm going to try and roll my ribs, my waist, and my hips back, and my knees will come on back up to the ceiling. I'll show you, the seated version is probably going to be the other way around, right? Roll your knees one way, roll your body back to the mat. So if I find that hard to breathe and talk, go the other way and roll on back. Now do a couple more. The seated version will be more like, you can choose to hold onto your chair and just roll your knees one way and back and roll them the other way. So you'll get a little bit of movement. It won't be as much, but it'll be a nice approximation. Or you might choose to just be reaching your arms on out and then take a twist. And it's still a twist, but it's more the upper body again. Reach on out to one side, and then you can reach on over to the other side. So you have a couple of choices. You might want to try both, right? Knees one way, knees the other way. Right? We're getting some movement, or your upper body. Okie dokie. Take a moment. Now, just remember, rest at any time. I'm not really sort of resting a lot. I'm trying to do things slowly and with a little bit of explanation. Hopefully the rest are built into that. So if you're not resting enough, stop, have as much rest as you need. I'm going to show the next one from the seat first because I'm already here. This one's a little bit harder sitting. Maybe press your hands down onto your seat and try to maybe lift one leg off the floor and lower down. And then the other one, you bring your knee towards your chest. Now, it might just be that you're lifting a heel off the floor and lowering. Oh, let me move my feet so you can see. One heel up and down, the other heel up and down. Right, so on the floor, your arms come down by your side. We're trying to keep our body still. One leg is going to lift to what we call a tabletop position, where your knees at 90 and lowers back down again, and your other leg comes to this 90-degree angle and lower back down. This is now a movement for your hips, or from your hips. Lift and lower and lift and lower. Now continue. As you're doing this movement, see my body, I'm pretty stable. I'm not really moving my torso. I'm feeling the backs of my ribs in contact with the mat, and my tail is down as well. Again, this is like a simple move, but it might not be easy. If it is easy-ish to you and you want to go a little bit further, lift one leg, hold it there, and lift your other leg to meet it. Lower one leg down, and then the other leg. I like to alternate which one I start with. One lifts up, hold it there. The other one lifts up. You might even want to put your hand on your belly to feel what's happening there. Let me tell you what I'm feeling, right? So one leg lifts, my belly sort of pushes into my hand a little bit, right? And then the other one lifts, it's even harder on my belly, right? One down, and then the other one down. Right, so you're going to choose. Stay with one leg at a time. Have one leg, then the other one comes up to meet it. And I'm doing quite a lot of repetitions here, so I'm just going to do one more round. Lift and lift and lower and lower. All right. That's one way of doing that. Right? What we're going to do is add these last two exercises together. So I'm going to, it's not actually the last two, but the ones we've already done. Bring your hands behind your head again, your elbows out to the side. Right? Curl your head and shoulders up off the mat. And we're going to try and stay there. If it's too much, put your head back down. One leg comes up and lowers down. The other leg comes up. Can you feel the difference when your head is lifted up? Now you can stay one at a time, or one and then the other. Right? I'm starting to shake. One down and the other one down. So if you're seated, right, I'm just going to come up from here. It'd be more like just curling up and trying to lift a leg. I would say one at a time. I think two at a time, if you're seated, is too much, but you might be able to do that. Right, one. And just remember, wherever you are, it's perfect for right now. Okay, so I'm trying to curl up with my upper body. I'm reaching out with my elbows, right, away from my body. I'm reaching to my curtains. I'm reaching to my camera, right? Oh, I'm going to do just one more round after this. Last one leg, last one the other leg, back down, and then all the way down. Nice. Okay, let's reach our arms back alongside the body. Actually, I've changed my mind. Stretch your legs out. I keep changing my mind. Can we come our way up to seated? I want to make this achievable for everybody. This is called a roll up, but we'll start from rolling down. Now, it's the same thing. When we were standing and we rolled ourselves down and rolled back up again, right? That's the action that we're doing now. When we're on the floor, gravity takes over, so it gets that much more challenging. So if you're seated, it was what we were doing when we were standing. Can you reach your arms out in front of you? Can you now tilt your pelvis back like you started doing when we were on our backs and start to roll yourself backwards? You're reaching away through your legs. And we're only going to come to a point here where we feel that we can stay in control of the movement. And then we're going to reach forward and I'm going to round forward. Now, see here, I'm trying to keep a round shape with my spine, like I'm rolling over a big beach ball. I'm going to keep that round shape and I'm going to start to roll myself back again. So you're finding the range that you can do. Now, that could be that you're here and you're going back here and then come forward again. That could be that you're going back more like here and then coming forward. If you need to bend your knees, if this is too challenging, right, with your legs, right, bend your knees a little bit. It's a great option. Right? Right, go back again and come on forward. Now, you can stay anywhere within that range, or if you're feeling confident, you can roll all the way down onto your back. Take your arms overhead, if that's all right. Maybe they just go up to the ceiling. Reach them back up again. Now, here's the curl. Your upper body curls up, right? We've already done this. Maybe you can keep rounding and rolling all the way up and over. Right? Roll on back. Find your range. You might go just a little way. You might be able to find this whole range. Reach overhead, if that's all right. I'm getting my chair. Your arms come up. You curl your head. You reach forward. Now, maybe you kind of just come to here and you get stuck. This was me for 2 years. I couldn't get past this. I used to have to sort of push up. You can use your arms. You can help yourself up, or you can stay just holding there. Do a couple more. Right? If you're in the chair, you can choose legs bent, legs straight, roll back, or round and roll forward, reaching towards your toes any which way you can. Try to kind of, what we're looking for here again is this movement in our pelvis and round. Right. So we're all finding the variation that works for us as individuals. No two people will be doing this the same. Let's do maybe one more. We're going to end up on our backs if you're on your mat, or seated. You could be leaning back. What have we got? And too tired to continue. That's I'm too tired. That's okay, Josie. That is fine. Right? This is a lot of work if you're not used to it. It's so much work if you're not used to it. All right. Or maybe you just had a big day and it's the end of your day. Also fine. All right. End up on your back if you're on the mat. End up seated if you're sitting upright, or maybe leaning back. Hug a knee into your chest. I'm hugging my right knee into my chest and I'm going to move it around a little bit with my arms for support. I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to keep my leg lifted and I'm going to try and do bigger circles. So this is a hip movement. And now your core is being used as a stabilizer. Right? You're moving your leg around. You can have your legs straight if you want. I see some straighter legs. Great. Yeah, you can have your knee bent. Let's move it around. Keep going. Go the other way. All right. If you're seated, you might choose to hold on to your leg still and try to move it around like this, in which case your arms are going to be getting a little bit more of a workout. Perfect. That's enough on the one leg. Can we switch over? Do your other leg. So you want to start by just hugging it in. Your other knee can be bent too, by the way. Any way that works for you. Go the other way. Right, let it go or keep hold of it, and your knee can be bent. Your leg can be stretched. Any angle. Right. And so we're stabilizing now the body. Go the other way. I've already said that, but I'm saying it again. Okay. All right. 2 more. That's it. Okay. See if you can hug both knees in. If you're sitting, you probably don't want to do that. Maybe just lean forward and give yourself a little bit of a hug. Okay. So I'm going to do 2 exercises here that I kind of like to do every week. We're going to bring our hands behind our head today with our elbows out to the side. Now, if this is not okay, just take your arms, maybe they just reach by your side here. We're going to lift our legs, curl your head and shoulders up. Now, try to reach one leg out. It can be up high. It can be down low. You can choose. Bend it back in again and reach your other leg out and away and come on back in. Reach one. So we're alternating legs out and comes in. This is called single leg stretch. In Pilates, reach your other leg out and come back in. You can put your head down if it's too much and just stretch one leg out and come back and your other leg out. Right, so we're going to do what you can do. I'm going to do just a couple more. Right, if you're seated, it's going to be more like you choose. You could be sliding a leg out and sliding back in. It can stay in contact with the floor, or you can lift and reach it out and back and lift. Can you feel that in your belly? Right, there's your option. Have a rest if you're lying down. If you're seated and you just started, do a few more. And we're going to do the same thing with both of our legs together. If 2 legs together is too much, stay with the one leg. So our legs start lifted, curl your head and shoulders up. Both of them reach on out and they come back in. Right? So you can be reaching more out. They don't have to go straight, more up to the ceiling, or you could be reaching out low. It depends on how you're feeling today. Maybe yesterday you were able to take them way down here and stay in control. And today it's more like something like this. Who cares, right? You're just doing what you can do. Right, let's do 3 more. Out, which is a lot. And 2. Good. And last 1. And that's it. Take a rest. Maybe turn your head a little bit from side to side. And then we're going to pop our feet back down again, and we're going to maybe stretch out. We're going to roll on over onto our bellies. Come on over. Make a little bit of a pillow with your hands. So see how my elbows, let me show it this way. My elbows are out to the side, and I'm going to just rest my forehead on my hands. Now, my legs are outstretched, and my pubic bone is making contact with the mat. And I'm going to keep my arms down on the floor, and I'm going to press down, and I'm going to try to lift my eyes, my head, my ribs might come off the floor, my chest might come up a little bit. I'm going to take a look forward, or you might be looking down. You see what feels okay for your neck, and then come on back down again. Let's do it again, right? Just lift your head, press down through your arms. Maybe it's just your head lifts. Maybe you can lift your chest up some more. And lower back down. So it's a little bit of a back bend. Stay there, do some more if you're on your belly. Right? If you're seated, you can do the same thing. You're just going to start to look more up towards the ceiling and then come on back up. So this is without support. If you're leaning back onto your seat, you're going to be sort of leaning over the back and then coming back up. Maybe try it both ways and see what works better for you. Right, so we've done a number of these like this using our arms. You can stay in that motion, or if you feel that you'd like to make that a little bit heavier, you can then lift your arms with you as you come on up and lower back down. And again, lift on up and lower back down. All right, so you're carrying the whole body weight through the spine, through the back of your body. Lift on up and lower. Do it at your own pace. One more. Lift on up and lower down. Pause a moment. You might want to wiggle your hips a little bit if your back is taking over there. And then we're going to keep our upper body still, and we're going to do our lower body. So we're going to keep our pubic bone down on the mat. We're going to reach out long and lift one leg up off the floor and lower down. I'm going to alternate my legs. Lift my other leg up and lower back down. Now, what I see a lot of here is people sort of lifting the whole hip and rolling. You want to keep your hips and your pubic bone down on the mat and just lift up from the back of your leg and lower. You're reaching it out long, and the other one. Now, unfortunately, if you're seated, your seat is going to be in the way of you doing this. So you can either just stay with your back bend or be still, or lift your leg out in front of you in a version that we've already done. Unless you've got a super squishy chair. I don't know how that's going to work. All right, lift and lower. Let's do one more each leg. Lift and lower. And the other one. And then we're going to see if we can do both legs together. If it's too much, just stay with one. Lift them both up and lower them down. Can you see how I'm not really moving in my spine? I'm just lifting my legs. Right? My back's actually part of this movement, but it's not overdoing it. I'm trying to use my legs a little bit more. Lift and lower. Now, pause. Again, you might want a little wiggle, maybe bend your knees, wiggle your legs around that way. So if you were seated and you couldn't do the leg thing, that's okay. We'll just come back to the upper body. And your choice here on your belly, we're going to put them together, upper and lower body at the same time. So let's start with our arms down. Lift your upper body, lift your legs, and lower back down. And again, lift on up and lower if you like. Your arms can come with you. Lift everything up and lower. Two more. Lift, right? So if you're seated, just you're doing that back bend again that you've already done. One more time. Lift on up and then lower. Good job. Slide your hands back. Push yourself back into a child's pose. So you can get a bit of a stretch through your arms, through your back. So if you're seated, just come into a forward bend. You can reach towards your hold onto your knees or reach to your ankles or somewhere in between. Yeah. And then come on up onto your hands and knees. Let's just pause here a little bit. If it's not okay for your hands, you can make fists. You could come onto your elbows. If it's not okay for your knees, just realized I haven't done any stretching part of this. I haven't used the strap. Can I apologize for that right now? I'll get right back into it as soon as I've done this one. Just want to do some cat and cow, right? Round your spine up. I got carried away with my core stuff today, right? Round up and round down. So it's like we're doing cat and cow in yoga, right? Round on up and round down. It's because I just noticed the time. I'm like, oh, I've totally forgotten. Sometimes I wonder where my head goes. All right, let's go. Two more of these. Round up and round down. And last one. And down. And let's find a tabletop. I just want to do a little bit of bird docking, which is like really common in like all fitness areas, right? It's so great to do. Again, your core's going to be a bit of a stabilizer. Can you slide one leg out behind you and the opposite arm forward? Maybe you can lift them both up and then lower them back down and slide back in. Switch on over, slide out. Maybe you lift them up. That's optional. Come back and then down. So I'm alternating sides. So it's my left arm, my right leg, and I'm lifting and lowering and coming back. Now my left leg and right arm and lift and lower and come back in. Do a couple more rounds like that. Right, so if you're seated, you can still do the same action of sliding out. So opposite arm and leg, maybe we start reaching here. One arm, one leg is reaching away and then coming back, right? So your arm's reaching to the ceiling and your leg is sliding out to the wall in front of you.
trying to think upright with your body. So where you're not leaning back on the chair, if that's okay. You're staying nice and upright and you're reaching on up and out. Do maybe one more of those on each side. And then let's get some stretchy stuff in. Okay. The other way and left and lower. Take a quick rest back again in the child's pose. Sorry about all this up and down. We're going to come lying down on our backs again, but now you want to grab your strap, right? Whatever you have to stretch out. So if you're seated, same thing, you'll be sitting down. We're going to pop the strap underneath your right foot. Now, your other leg can be bent, right? So if you've got a belt, whatever, hold on to it as you can. Hopefully it's long enough. If it's not long enough, maybe your leg won't go straight, and that's okay. Sorry about this quick flip around today. All right. I want to get some sort of stretch in before we finish. So I'm going to have my other leg down on the mat. I'm going to actually have both of my legs down. If this is not okay, if you find your head in this kind of position, flip something underneath your head. Right, so if you've got your towel there, pop that underneath so the back of your neck can start nice and long and you can help your ribs be on the mat. We're going to use our arms to lift our leg up. We're going to try to get it straight, but again, if what you have here to hold onto your leg is not all that long, you can have a bent leg, whatever works for you. And I'm going to walk my hands up my strap and I'm going to draw my leg in towards me. Now, the key here is I'm trying to get my leg straight. Right, of course, because my strap is long enough. So if you're in that position where it's long enough, straighten out your leg. Now, the strap is underneath the ball of my foot, so my toes are pulling down towards me and my heel is pushing away. Now, I could kind of pull in here. See how my other leg lifts up off the mat? My tail will curl under. I want to try and avoid that. I want to try and flatten out, right? Put my pelvis in what we call this neutral position with my tail down, and then I'm pulling my leg in here without my pelvis rocking backwards. Right, if that doesn't make any sense, that's okay. You're just going to do what you can do. Right, so this is if you're lying down on your back position. If you're in a seat, right, it's the same action. You can kind of lasso your foot here, stretch your leg out, and you can pull on back. You can make more of an effort to pull back through the ball of your foot as you're pushing your heel away from yourself. Hopefully that'll give you a little bit of a stretch, right? Somewhere in the back of your leg. In this position, in my seated position here, I feel it more behind my knee. Right? And we'll all feel it somewhere different, right? If I'm lying down, I feel it more in my hamstrings. I don't think we'll get to do the calf stretch today. So if you've done plenty of classes with me, you know your calf stretch. Do that yourself after we finish. Now, you can either stay here. Can you rotate your leg? Like from my thigh bone, I'm going to try, and I can look at my toes. I'm going to turn my toes away from my body, but I'm going to let my whole leg rotate. So my thigh bone's turning out towards my curtains here to the right side. I'm still pulling the leg in towards me, and then I'm going to try and turn my leg the other way so my toes turn now across my body to the left side. Right, I'm letting my whole leg turn. Right, I'm going to turn again to the right, just so I'm feeling that stretch in different fibers. Oh, right, and I'm going to go the other way. Do the best you can to turn. Can you turn it more outwardly or more inwardly? Out. And then the other way. All right, is that enough on the one leg? Let's switch on over. The foot comes into the strap. Right, I'm going to start with my legs down, trying to keep my pelvis in neutral, my ribs down on the mat. I'm going to use my arms to pull my leg up. And again, I'm trying to get my leg straight. Right, pulling down through the ball of my foot. My heel is pushing away. Reaching out. You can use your arms to pull your leg in closer towards you
See if you can feel the ribs down on the mat. Hold it here. Right, so if you're seated, remember, same sort of thing. Maybe you can be upright. You might even be able to fold a little bit more over your leg, or you might have to lean back into your seat. But again, trying to get your legs straight as you're pulling your toes, or your toes, the ball of your foot towards your body. And see how this leg feels compared to your other leg. And then do a little bit of a rotation. I'm going to try and turn, whoops, I'm slipping, turn my toes to the left, right, so my whole leg, my whole thigh bone is rotating out to the side. And then I'm going to go the other way, turn it across my body, my toes towards my curtains here. And then I'm going to go out again. And in. Out. In. A little bit of extra stretch. I think we did hold the other side a little bit longer, so feel free to stay there as long as you like. Sorry, we didn't get around to the dome. I'm running out of time. But that's okay. So once again, so if you've done the calf stretch with me, and if I know quite a few of you have been to a lot of my classes, if you haven't, don't worry. If you come back, you'll definitely be doing that once or twice in class. Do a calf stretch once we're done. Give that a go. All right, let's slip the strap off your leg, lower it down. One final core thing. Sorry, my computer is doing something. I think it's going to turn itself off. Let me just do something here. Let me get rid of that. Okay. It's a scan. It's one of those virus scans coming up. All right. Reach your arms alongside your body. Oh, it's doing that again, but I think you can see me okay. Can you slide your arms forward, curl your head and shoulders up off the mat? Maybe you only go here. See if you can lift one leg off the floor. Maybe, maybe not. Lower it back down again. Lift your other leg off the floor. Lower it back down again. And then lie back down. All right, so if you're seated, can you find some approximate? Sorry, I'm so running out of time. Hopefully, you can do something similar. This is the grand finale. I'm going to go again, slide forward. I'm maybe going to lift both feet up off the mat, maybe lift my arms up off the mat, and you can either hold it here or collapse, or just maybe, if you feel so inclined, you can keep lifting up to this kind of shape, and then collapse or let everything go. Do a little forward bend, curl up onto your side and a scrunch, whatever feels good for you, just to finish on off here. Have a little bit of a move around, anything that's right. Sorry, I'm still getting another message again. I'm trying to get rid of that so I can see you. Right. And then wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, have a bit of a stretch, have maybe a little bit of a tantrum or something, anything that feels good for you. If you're up here, move around. If you're on your chair, move your body around all the different ways. Just sort of shake off any tension, nod your head again, give that a bit of a move from side to side. All right. And then coming up, I really wanted to leave myself open to some questions to finish off with. So, sorry, I sort of whizzed through the stretch there. Okay, the time just flew today. Do we have any questions on anything that you did, anything you'd like to make a comment on? You could tell me if it was way too hard or too easy, or if there's something else that you would have preferred to do. I'm really open for any feedback. I'd love to hear some if you have any ideas of something that might work better for you. Maybe next time you do this.
Really good to me.
Oh, thanks so much, Shelley. Thank you. I appreciate it. Christine, it gets set up. How did you go?
I hope I'll be able to get on the floor.
Oh, absolutely. You keep doing it on the chair, and one day well, I can't absolutely guarantee that, but I can be pretty positive that that might be something that you're able to do for sure. Get the movements happening in your body. Yep. Great. Thank you, Shirley. Thanks for the comments. Okay.
Is there
Anyone
a way
else?
to lessen the tension in the neck when I move up, like from the floor, kind of the crunch coming up?
Oh,
It's like I feel after all this, everything is nice stretched and the neck is like tense.
yeah. That's probably the most common issue that we have, that type of movement. Absolutely. We're putting a lot of tension in the neck. Yeah, it's going to be part and parcel of it until that sort of gets stronger, or you learn a way to be able to maybe, I do an exercise called head ramping, and pretty much, let me kind of show you. This is exaggerating. A lot of us carry our head forward, right? So your chin is up. See how the front of my neck is a little bit longer, the back of my neck shortens.
Sure.
If you push your chin down and pull your head back, we get more space here at the back of the neck. If you can find that kind of position and then do a curl from that position, there'll still be some tension because it's a movement that you're not used to doing. So over time, but that will lessen the tension and give you more of a sense of stretch in the back of the neck. Does that kind of make sense?
I think so. It's just, I think when I move up, I just stiffen my neck more than anything else. And that's what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll try that.
Yeah. Sadly, it is part of it because all of this is you're tensing to get your neck up off the mat, and it's very, very common, and it's something that a lot of us have over time. When your body gets used to that movement, the tension can come out. If you find that too much tension, do everything with your head down. You do not need to lift your head up. Right? Especially if after it you come out of there and you go, oh, this is so painful, I never want to do that again. Don't do it. Keep your head down. Put something underneath your head. Keep the back of your neck nice and long, and keep it down until such time that you're able to use the rest of your body, engage that a little bit more, which will help to take the tension out of your neck.
All right. So lifting, I should try and lift more from my stomach?
Yeah, that's going to happen, right? It's going to engage a little bit. Yeah. Over time. Yeah, so these are all sort of exercises based in Pilates, and we're always taught that it's like peeling the layers of an onion skin, right? So the more you peel, the deeper you get. So the more you get used to it, the better you get at doing something, the more other parts of your body are going to come together to do those movements that you're looking at doing. So yeah.
Thank you so much. Great.
Thank you.
So Natalie, will we be exercising with you or other classes?
Sorry,
ongoing.
Ongoing. Yep, this is with me. Yep. This is my class this time at the moment. Yeah. Yeah, so I'll be here at the moment the same time every week. I've been doing a class at this time for the last couple of months now. We just switched around which classes I'm doing. So yeah. Okay, Shelley.
We can find you on Mondays now from now on?
Yes, this is your Monday. This is my Tuesday, but absolutely, Marty. Yep, I know you wanted this one. So yeah, this time for the neck, for however long we keep it on at this time. Yeah.
Okay. I wish we could sign up in advance, but I don't see how to do that. But
yeah, I think they're only put on the schedule like 2 weeks in advance. So you can sign up 2 weeks in advance, but that's about it at this stage. Yeah.
Thank you for telling Mark about me. He was very helpful.
Oh, that's excellent. Okay, great. Thanks, Marty. Thank you. All right.
So Natalie, you just teach one class on Get Set?
No, Barbara, I teach a class every day. I actually taught 2 classes yesterday. I teach 1 today. I teach 2 tomorrow. This is my Tuesday morning, so we're going to have to convert. So this is your Monday night. So Sunday, I teach 2, Monday 1, Tuesday 2, Wednesday 1, Thursday 1, your time.
But they're all like this, or are they different? I'll have to look.
They're all different, but they're all similar. I kind of go over exercises, and I don't know what I'm teaching tomorrow. Oh, yes, I do. My hips class is tomorrow. It starts half an hour earlier than this one, and it's a focus on my hips. A lot of the exercises are quite similar, actually. So yeah, I overlap and I repeat a lot, right? Which is why I mentioned the calf stretch thing. I do that a lot. Yeah. Yesterday I had a foot class, I have a shoulder class, I have a something else. Yeah. But just
All right.
Class in the morning, okay.
yeah, so Natalie W. Yeah, well, if you're keen, mine are on Australian time now. There are some that I do that are like 2 a.m. for a lot of you, which is not really ideal. Yeah. I had a couple on yesterday on your 2 a.m. time. I don't know why. They're very keen. So yeah. So I'm just going to very, very quickly just share my thank yous. I want to thank you. I really appreciate everybody for being here. Thank you so much. And so thank you from me. Thank you from Get Set Up. If you do want to do more classes with me, in the search function, just type in Natalie. Yeah, Natalie will be fine. There's 2 of us Natalies here in Australia, but the other Natalie does more mindfulness classes. Mine physical, hers are in the mind. So we're both here. I think we both do excellent classes. There's so many other wonderful fitness-based classes on Get Set Up. All you need to do is do a little bit of a search. But these are my ones on the screen there. I do have a couple more. One is a strength class and one is a balance class as well. So have a look for those. Yeah, look, if you're enjoying it, please share your experiences. Just if you're on social.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Thank you.
yeah, I really appreciate it. I need to wind up now because that is the finish of it. So thank you.
Thank you, Natalie.
All right, I'll send a quick
Bye,
video.
thank you.
I hope to see you all again soon. Have a wonderful day. All right,
Thank you.
bye.
You too.